Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the streets. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad.
Has the whole world gone crazy? Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rule?
You have the luxury of not knowing what I know.
I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
So if you haven't seen any of our past episodes, I would highly advise that you go take a look at some to help what I'm saying now make a little bit more sense. The reality of the matter is we've been placing these stories and piecing things together between critical race theory, organizations that are behind it, organizations that are behind riots, organizations that are behind the destruction in riots, more specifically, giving you the video evidence to depict both and really just sort of laying it all out. This is now where it leads to, okay? You've got Joe Biden setting the stage. I'm going to show you the clip in just a moment. But the goal here, just to tie it all together, in case you're wondering why, if you're one of those people, why are they doing this? Why are they trying to teach kids division? Why are they trying to teach kids to identify everything by race? Why are they calling everyone a white supremacist and extremist? Why are they doing this? Because this is what you're going to hear over the next year and a half or so, because that's all they have is a year and a half, okay, before they're gone. So that year and a half is going to be spent with you hearing nothing from this administration and its minions that are running around like the Secretary of Defense. You're not going to hear anything except we're here. We want to fight extremism. We want to root out extremism. We want to get rid of white supremacy. They've got to get you to believe this stuff. They have to make you believe it. They have to make you believe that identity by race is everything. These are tactics. This is not education that they're trying to put forth. They're tactics. And now they're going next level. And the stuff's moving fast, folks. So you need to keep paying attention. And we're going to keep putting it out there. But you need to be paying attention to us and to anybody else out there who's trying to get this message done. Okay? Because this is a big deal. So now they want to purge the military of Trump supporters. But they don't just outright come out and say Trump supporters. No. First, they're going to tell you it's the extremists. These extremists are very much a concern. And that's where Joe Biden comes in, because he's just too stupid to be able to handle a delicate message, one that has to be worded very delicately, except for the initial part to set the stage. So here he is.
We just have to open our eyes. We've just witnessed images that we've never imagined, images that now we'll never forget. A violent assault on the U.S. Capitol, assault on our democracy, on our Capitol. A violent attack that threatens lives and took lives. We know now we must confront and defeat political extremism, white supremacy, and domestic terrorism.
So that seems simple enough, right? Because it doesn't seem that harmless what he's saying. And heck, we all want to get rid of extremism. And, well, let's face it, who likes a white supremacist? So it seems pretty reasonable, except who's determining who's a white supremacist or extremist? Well, the person determining that would be Lloyd Austin. Yes, Lloyd Austin. Get used to the name, folks. He just put a 60-day halt on the military so that he can purge Trump supporters from the military. And the way that, and do they come out and say we're purging Trump supporters? No. We need to give Google some good material so that they could post other articles and talk about why this is a good thing, because they're really just going through the military and removing all the white supremacists. However, it becomes clear that what their definition, and they do get to make the definition as to what a white supremacist or an extremist, they're two different things. So if you can't peg them for white supremacist, you go to the more generic term for extremists, which can cover just about anything. But the definition for extremists from these people is anything that disagrees with them. Now, they've already purged a regular Army reservist who's been in station for 4 years in Louisiana, and he's done now. He was given a purge letter from the highest level possible, which I believe was Lloyd's desk. It might have been even over him, but I think it was his desk. But nonetheless, it was an incredibly high level that took out and sent a letter of purge to an Army reservist. Now, this guy's scared shit, as he should be. Okay, he should be. Because the government is officially weaponized right now. And if you're in the military or you're a Christian conservative, you'd better be on guard. You'd better be on guard. Because they're literally scouring everyone in the military's social media posts. And if they find anything that they don't like, which is going to be conservative, you're gone. You're out. Okay, you're out. Under the name of white supremacy, racism, whatever the hell they're using now. So just understand this, because this is real, okay? This is not some World War II story about Stalin or Hitler or some older story about Mao. No, this is here in the United States, in Louisiana. They already dumped all the appointees that were higher level, but that doesn't overly concern me. Trump put them in, they're taking them out. I get that. But they're going after the local guy. They're going after the regular grunt. They're going after everybody. Now that's crazy. That's just crazy. But there they are. And let's hear the now at his confirmation hearing, let's hear what Lloyd Austin had to say.
I will fight hard to stamp out sexual assault and to rid our ranks of racist and extremists. The job of the Department of Defense is to keep America safe from our enemies. But we can't do that if some of those enemies lie within our own ranks.
So he's saying if some of those enemies lie within our own ranks. I mean, this is... So just follow me here, okay? Because this is not hard to follow. You teach the younger generations, which, by the way, they've already been doing for an awfully long time. Okay, so it's not nationalized yet because the Civic Secures Democracy Act is what's going to hit home with that. But even without it being nationalized, it's still in tons of schools. I just found out yesterday that it's going to be in the high school senior year for my own daughter's high school. She's a sophomore now. So I'm just educating her correctly so when she goes in there, she can smash these fools with reality. But not everybody's going to do that, and not everybody knows that unless they're aware of what this junk is. So he turns around and says that. Now here's something that's really, really interesting. So retired brigadier general, okay, this is a retired brigadier general, Thomas Kolditz, okay? So he goes ahead and he says this. One of my bigger concerns is that there has long been a strong Trump following in the military, Kolditz told Fortune. People in the military have every right to be conservative or extremely conservative. Well, that sounds nice. But Trump supporters in the military who think what happened on January 6th was a good thing need to be managed out of the military as soon as possible. That probably won't happen until the Trump loyalists are out. But that needs to be done. So here's the thing. They ask him after that, so how many people are we talking here? 8,000, well in the thousands, probably in the thousands. Now, fortunately, he's not in charge, but this asshat Bishop Garrison is in charge, and some of the things that he's tasked with doing is redefining extremism, following, getting on people for following, looking into who follows who and who likes what on social media. They've coined a term called patriot extremism, I mean, you can't make this shit up. They're not even trying to hide this. They got a year and a half, folks, a year and a half to get it all done. And the best is patriot extremism. That's my favorite. You'll see it in a minute when I put this video up. But the patriot extremism, they take a bunch of extremist symbols, and then in it, they put like shit that like every military person would have. It's just absolutely, you know, with the picture of the gun, like the Second Amendment advocates, it says, come and take it. That's an extremist view now. Telling someone, challenging someone to come take your constitutional rights. That's an extremist view now. And if you see a come and take it t-shirt, well, if you own a come and take it t-shirt, don't think about signing up for the military. And if you're already in the military, you better go ahead and scrub your media of anything patriotic, because you do something patriotic around these folks and you're a racist. And this is why they had to sell that message that everybody's a racist. Because when they start picking people out at random and calling them racist, everyone needs to agree. Everyone needs to agree. But I know there's still, look, I still got people walking around, you know, the shopping mall is full of masks right now. You know, there's whole states fully functioning, 50,000 seat baseball stadiums rocking, no mandate, no rule that you have to wear it here, but everyone's still wearing it. And those are the same people who think everything is a conspiracy theory. And, oh, I trust, it's the National Institute of Health. It's the Center for Disease Control. But this is the Department of Defense. These are government organizations. Well, they would never lie to us. This is what we have walking around, these effing zombies. And I found a video that pretty much articulates everything I just said. And it does it in one video, which was actually kind of cool. After I got done reading everything, I found this video, among others. But this one really hits home and really nails it. But I'll leave the link below so that you can check it out.
Meet Bishop Garrison, the new senior advisor to the Secretary of Defense. His portfolio is diversity, equity, and inclusion, but his purview is much wider. Never heard of him? Me neither. They like it that way. According to an official Defense Department memo signed on April 9th, less than a month ago, by the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin himself, Bishop Garrison is now in charge of Countering Extremism Working Group. The Pentagon's Countering Extremism Working Group, which is a top Defense Department priority, is immediately charged with the following. Get this. Revising the definition of prohibited extremist activities. Creating a reporting process for vets, soldiers who have left the force, to report extremist groups. So now we have a veteran spy network, essentially. And forming yet another commission to study extremist behavior in the military. There's more. This working group will also recommend changing the military justice system in order to address extremism. Good. Woke justice. Enhance the military's insider threats programs to report concerning behaviors. This used to be for, say, foreign spies. I've done the training, but not anymore. We have new insider threats. Screening publicly available information on new recruits with continuous vetting to include algorithms into social media accounts. And finally, they're going to update all training, especially on gray areas such as reading, following, or liking extremist material online. Catch all that? But the big question is, who's deciding what's extreme? Well, Bishop Garrison, of course. The White House just put the equivalent of Ibram X. Kendi, the author of How to Be an Anti-Racist, in charge of vetting the entire U.S. military, past, present, and future. Let's check a few of Bishop Garrison's past tweets, and there are a lot of them. In July of 2019, for example, the Pentagon's brand new senior advisor sent these two tweets. Support for him, meaning Trump, a racist, is support for all his beliefs. Also tweeting, he's dragging a lot of bad actors, misogynists, extremists, and other racists out into the light, normalizing their actions. If you support the president, you support that. There is no room for nuance with this. There's no room for nuance. If you support the president, you support extremists and racists. You support all of his beliefs as we define them. The scary part is what he believes about anyone who supports Trump. You are racist. You are an extremist. If you support Trump and supporting Trump makes you a racist and extreme, then in the world of Bishop Garrison, Trump supporters are de facto extremists. No nuance, no question, no quarter. It actually gets worse. In March of this year, a leaked 17-page DARPA presentation, DARPA is the Pentagon's research lab, marked unclassified, outlined extremism and insider threats to the DoD. The document is very startling and would be resource material for Bishop Garrison. It's a type of fertile DoD cultural soil he's standing on right now. Not only does this document assert that extremism is rampant in the military, but it suggests a new form of extremism I'd never heard of in the military, called patriot extremism. The document defines patriot extremism as this ideology holds that the U.S. government has become corrupt, has overstepped its constitutional boundaries, or is no longer capable of protecting the people against foreign threats. Wait, so thinking the U.S. government is corrupt, has overstepped its constitutional boundaries, and can't defeat foreign threats makes you an extremist? Those views are mainstream conservative thinking today. May I refer you, DARPA, say, to the Declaration of Independence? The document goes on to name anarchists and racists as well, and uses this photo collage of extremist symbols. Many of these symbols are racist or anarchist. But come and take it? You see that flag in the upper left corner? That's about as common of a military phrase or tattoo or T-shirt as you're ever going to see on Private Murphy. But maybe we're missing it. Maybe it's not just about January 6th, not just about Trump. Maybe despite all the PC and woke curriculum taught to kids these days, the U.S. military today really is full of extremists and racists. Maybe I just missed it. Of course not. On April 20th of this year, less than a month ago, two of America's top generals, the head of U.S. Strategic Command and the head of U.S. Space Command, testified before the Senate Armed Services Committee. Both were asked if extremism is a problem in their ranks.
I am very confident that the number of extremists in my forces is zero. So if there are any extremists in my organization, one, they hide it very well, and two, it's just a matter of time until I get to them.
I would tell you right now that we have done everything that Secretary Austin has asked us to do in terms of training and awareness, but in my organization, I would say that number is zero. Throughout my career, I have not seen that, so I believe it's close to zero in my organization, if not zero.
Zero or close to zero. And if we find them, we'll get them. Not good enough. Who is dispatched to quickly dispel those foolish notions? You guessed it, Bishop Garrison.
We would be remiss if we didn't admit to the fact that there is a problem with extremist behavior within the military. That is to say that one extremist is one too many.
The purge is coming. They see their opening, they have the power, and they have their men in the right places. They say extremism is a huge problem. Their man says Trump supporters are extremists, full stop. So where does that leave Trump supporters, patriots, and conservatives in the military today? Vetted, closeted, or worse, kicked out.
Is there really anything more to say? Rant over.
And like that,